Now I want to go over a few good examples, and I managed to find some examples in the Great Lakes Bay region. I wanted you to really recognize that it's not just these large companies that are using social media. So first I want to talk about blogs. Dr. Kara's, right, has a really great blog. It's drkaras.com, and there are a lot of different things on his blog about fitness inspiration, nutrition, chiropractic care, but the overall theme is really you living a healthier life. And I think that's a really great example of a blog because he's not pushing, come see me and I'll fix you up. He's not doing that at all. If you go to his blog, none of it blatantly promotes his company. It's very positioning himself as a thought expert. So that's what I wanted to point out, is he's sharing useful information. He's positioning himself without really pushing his services. If you become pushy as a brand online, people are going to back away and they're not going to listen. And I talked to him briefly through email, and he said that his blog is the lead source of bringing in patients outside of referrals, which is really great because who would have thought that your website is going to bring in that many people? I know he said he has patients that come from Detroit, and patients also get to know him before he actually meets them through his blog, and also Twitter, Pinterest, and a variety of other social media platforms. And it's also helped him get coverage on NBC 25. So this is a really great local example that you can go and check out yourself if you want to see how he's doing it, and just see how you could use that kind of strategy for your own company. Twitter is another popular platform, and Twitter is not as popular in this region, of course, as it is in Metro Detroit. But WNEM Gilardi, it does a really great job because she shows herself as a real person. These conversations aren't just read this news coverage. It's actual conversations with people, but also about what's going on. You can see she's using Instagram as well. So this is a great example of the media using social media. And as a user of social media, I can send her a tweet and say, hey, I have a great story. Would you be interested in covering this? And it's another way to connect with those reporters who might not, be as available through email, because we all know how many emails we get per day. Facebook, of course, is one that I really can't get away from presenting on, and I wanted to talk about the Gourmet Cupcake Shop. How many of you have had their cupcakes? They're kind of addicting, and so they really built their Facebook page upon this almost cult following of their cupcakes. People, say that they really only want to go there and get their cupcakes, and so they have over 5,000 likes on their page, which is really great considering that they just started out in Midland. So one of the interesting things I think that they do is that they post news about available flavors. So today we have, this particular flavor that we don't make every day, come and get it. And people will actually call and reserve their cupcake. They will see it on Facebook and say, will you hold on to that bacon-covered maple syrup cupcake? And they will. They'll hold on to them. They do have a cupcake with bacon, by the way. They also will have limited quantities. I remember seeing right before Easter, we have 4 cheesecakes in our store. And basically something along the lines of, we hope this doesn't cause a stampede, because if you want a cheesecake and you don't want to make your own for Easter, you probably would really want to go drive there and get one of their cheesecakes. Another great thing that they do is they engage with their customers and answer questions. So if you posted something along the lines of, hey, I'm looking to get a cake for a baby shower, I was wondering if you had any fun ideas, they probably would respond to that, which is a really great way to interact with your customers online. So I want to go over a few things that I kind of think are rules, but not necessarily rules. They're just guidelines. Feel free to break them if you disagree. But first of all, be social. Engage with other people even if you don't know them. I remember speaking a couple years ago at CMU, and someone mentioned, well, I have these people following me on Twitter, and I don't know who they are, so I keep blocking them. Well, you're kind of defeating the purpose of Twitter, because you're not interacting with these people, you're not getting to know them. And I can say I've gotten to know a lot of really great people through Twitter. I've gotten job offers through Twitter from people that I did not even know. It's a really great platform to get to know people, to network, and to learn things. I actually get most of my news through Facebook and Twitter. Whenever there's an earthquake, I don't feel it for some reason, and people will be saying, oh, I think there was an earthquake. So I just get on Twitter and I search earthquake, and then, of course, there are hundreds of tweets of people asking the same thing, was that an earthquake? And so that's kind of a great way to see what's being said. Crowdsourcing is another great thing you can do with it when you're being social. You can ask questions, like, what do you think of this? Where should I go for this? I've done that before. Where should I go to get my hair cut? And people chime in like, oh, you should go here because that's where I go. And like they said in that video, people trust peer recommendations a lot more than they trust advertisements. I will take a peer recommendation any day over a newspaper advertisement because I know based on someone's personal experience. The next point is to make an investment. You have to spend time and effort on your profiles. It's not something that you can just set up and forget. But I also wanted to make the point that you can't just link all of your profiles together and have them post the same content, because you do have the ability to do that. And one of the things that people don't necessarily realize when they do that is it comes across as very scammy. I was working with a nonprofit and they had posted, this looks like a fun thing, on their Facebook page, and it had a picture, and it was like a kid riding a bike or something like that. And that's fine because on Facebook there was that visual. Well, they had it linked to their Twitter, and it said, this looks like a fun thing. And I said, do you realize what that looks like? It looks like a spammer, and I would not click that link. And so we unlinked their Facebook and Twitter pages because they really were not using them effectively. They were just, let's save time and link them together, but in the end, it's really self-defeating. The next point is to pick and choose. So you don't have time to post across 5 different profiles. Pick one or pick 2 and do them well. Don't just, kind of get on there and blast your messages and hope that it works out for the best. Just pick Facebook if you want to set up a Facebook page for your business, and do it really well and get to know that platform really well. And then if you have a handle on that, try another one. Add another to your mix. But don't just, link them all together or try to be on every single platform, because you'll really get tired of it and it really won't be as effective. The next point is go by 70-20-10. It's a guideline that I learned when I was at Fogger and Moortime, and they say that 70% of your time on social media, you should spend it sharing with your community. So posting things that your community cares about, but it doesn't necessarily self-promote. So for the chiropractic's office, there are great health articles out there. You can probably go to CNN Health and find great articles. So it takes about 5 seconds to find content. 20% of the time, interact with people. So ask questions. Maybe they'll answer, maybe they won't at first, but try to make it where you're actually being social. A lot of people forget that part in social media. They just think that it's another place for them to advertise. Make sure that you're being social. And then 10% of the time, go ahead and blatantly self-promote. So just keep in mind that only 1 out of 10 posts should be you really saying, we're a great company.